guys, I asked on the blog what you wanted to see more of, and most of you replied that you wanted to see story times, like stuff that I've been through, that I have suffered through in my almost 21 years of life, and I decided that today I'm going to be nice and do something that you actually wanted for a long time. So here's the story of how I almost got an apartment. Now, let me preface this entire story by saying that legally, this woman did nothing wrong. She hadn't signed any papers or anything. She was not at fault in any way. Or, you know, she was at fault, but not any legal fault. It was just a huge dick move. So this was a while back. It was just about when I was going to move out of my parents' house, going here to study, all that stuff. And I was desperately trying to find an apartment. I was really worried that I wouldn't, and I had all these stresses like going on in my head that what if I don't? Where will I live? Will I even be able to study if I don't find an apartment? All that stuff. And then I find one. Now this apartment is perfect. I would have to share it with 2 other people, but that doesn't bother me at all because it's amazing. The view is perfect. It's light, it's big, it's got all the stuff that I'm looking for, and I'm just like, yes, this one. I want this one. I need this one. It's a little bit on the expensive side, and I would have to share it with 2 other people, but I don't really mind that because it's perfect in it. But then I noticed that it has been up for a while, and I go, okay, well, at least I can ask, like, has anyone chosen this apartment yet, or is there still like a chance for me to... So I emailed this woman and I asked, is it still free? Like, is it still up for grabs? And she answers quite quickly that, yeah, it is. It is still free. Do you want to like come and look at it? And I tell her that, okay, I live pretty far away. Would it be okay for you to just send me pictures, and then when I get there, like with all my stuff, if I decide to take the apartment, then we like sign the papers and I look at it and all that. And she says, okay, and I know that's a pretty unconventional way to do things. Like, usually you see the actual apartment like a couple of weeks in advance before you move in, but I didn't have that opportunity. I even got to know a little bit about the people who lived in the apartment too. Like, they were kind of my age, a little bit older, both were students, none of them smoked, one was even a biologist, which would have been pretty nice. But of course, something had to go wrong. So I get all hyped up, and she's like, okay, I'll send you I'll send you pictures. Just give me a few days and I'll go take them for you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Because at this point in time, I wasn't in a rush yet. Like, this was maybe July or something, and school started in the end of August. And I was like, okay, there's a huge time gap here. I'm cool. I'm okay with it. And it takes a few days, and I get pictures of the apartment and the room that would be like my bedroom and the kitchen and the bathroom, and it's perfect. I love it even more now that I get to see these pictures. Like, my bedroom is huge. It's bigger than this one, and I don't know if you can tell, there's even an echo in here. It's that big. So so it's amazing. It's beautiful. The view is like foresty and nice, and you know me, I'm a country girl. I like the forest. That would have been really cool, and I just fall in love with the place. But then my mom tells me like, okay, this is pretty expensive. Don't you wanna wait and look at some more apartments just a few days before you jump into anything? And this was actually like for a student budget, pretty high. It was pretty high, and I was like, okay, fine. So I wait a few days. I check like other websites, and I even email a few of the people who had put up ads, but that's still the perfect one. So I decide to take the apartment. I'm like, I want this one. I know it's a bit too expensive, but this is the one I want. This is the one I crave. Like, I have to have it. And so I send her an email, and I say like, I'm down. I want this apartment. Just like answer a few questions for me. And I ask like, okay, is the building like smoker free and, you know, are there pets allowed, because I would really have liked to have a cat, and the basic questions like, is water included in the rent, and all that stuff that you need to ask before you actually decide to take a place. And then a few days later she replies to that, like, yeah, water is counted into the rent and no pets are not available, and, you know, the building was smoke free. And I was like, perfect, great. And then I asked her the crucial question: when can I get my stuff down there? Like, I start school this date, when is it okay for me to come? And then she doesn't reply. She's been like on and off quick with replying, so I was like, okay, maybe it just takes a few days for her to like get things in order. Maybe she doesn't want to reply to my email before she's like 100% sure that this is the day, this fits everyone involved. But then it starts to take time, and I'm like, okay, getting a little bit stressed. But I decided, okay, maybe there's something I don't know, like maybe there's still someone living in the apartment and they have to get their stuff out first or something. I don't know. So I decided to wait a few days more, and then we decide on a date. I actually don't remember what the date was, but it was like 2 or 3 weeks before school started, because I wanted to like get there, get moved in, get all the stuff out of the way, and get to know the town a little bit before school started, all that stuff. And she was like, okay, great, I'll be here waiting with the papers for you when you arrive. And I was like, yes, I have an apartment. Keep in mind that finding an apartment that I wanted and that was available took me 2 months. And I wasn't even that picky, to be honest. So yes, I start packing. I pack all my stuff, everything is in boxes. I'm so excited. And then 2 days before I'm going to travel down with my parents and all my moving boxes, all my clothes, all my gifts from all my relatives for my new place in a town 450 kilometers away, this woman decides to send me, you can't move in anymore because now someone else lives here. What? How? When? Why? You said to me, yes, this date, come this date. And I was like, okay, I will. And this is just a few weeks before school starts. I don't know if any of you know how long it can take to get an apartment. It can take a year if you're picky. And I was on a budget, so I kind of had to be picky. And this woman just... What? How? When? When did a person have the time to even move in between our conversation? I don't get it. I don't understand. What happened? And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, what? Because first I thought like, okay, this has got to be some kind of really strange joke. But apparently she was serious. Like, the ad was gone. And she was like, yeah, so someone lives here now, so you have to find another place in 2 weeks. And I didn't know what to do. I had a complete mental breakdown. All my stuff was packed. I was completely set on moving in a couple of days. And I knew that finding me a new place to stay could take months. And I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Someone help me, please. Now, thanks to my amazing mom, shout out to you, Mom, you're great for handling all my life problems one at a time. Thanks to my mom, I found somewhere to live. I got to sleep on this elderly couple's couch because they had a spare room since both their children had moved out. And I was so relieved. So yeah, 2 weeks from that, I jumped on a train with a few of my belongings, wrapped into a bag, and I left, and I moved in with those elderly people who turned out to not be an ideal living situation for me. And I spent about 1.5 months sleeping on people's couches. So I went to school here, but I had no address here. Like, I lived literally out of my bag for 1.5 months because of this lady who suddenly let someone else move into my apartment. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, really, I don't know what to say, because this is insane. Like, how do you change your mind that quickly? What happens in those few days that you just go, okay, well, F you, I'm gonna pick this person instead, and you move in 2 days. And the worst part is, I never really found out who moved in or why she changed her mind, because she didn't reply to my emails anymore. And I'm just... Are you a scammer? What's going on? I don't understand anything. And I would have gotten if she like did a search on my name and gotten something insane like me featuring in an adult film, or me drinking loads of vodka and getting drunk and puking over the railing of a boat, something like that, because then it's like, okay, maybe I don't want this person to live here. But there is no such things. My record is completely clean. There is nothing in my background that would make someone not want me to move into their apartment. Like, there's nothing. So I would have understood that. And I would even have understood if the situation was different, like we had talked for maybe a couple of days, and then this woman goes, okay, but I found someone that needs the apartment more, who can move in instantly, or just in general is a better potential tenant than you are. I would have gotten that, but we emailed each other for 2-3 weeks before she just suddenly changed her mind, and it's like, no, I'm gonna rent it to someone else. That is how life works. So you have no idea how much stress you caused me, but at least there is an interesting story that I can entertain my friends and acquaintances with. So yes, that was a story about how I almost got an apartment. And lady, if you're watching, I hope that karma gets you, and I hope that it gets you hard, because honestly, you deserve it. You caused me so much stress, and in general, it was just a really, really, really mean move. So yes, that was the story about how I almost got an apartment. And dear strange lady, who I no longer remember the last name to, if you're watching this, I hope that karma gets you, and I hope that it gets you hard, because honestly, you deserve a lot of bad karma. So thank you for watching that mess of me being upset. If you want to watch something else that I made, you can click here. It's one of my worst dates ever, and it was knives and me running, so you know, stories, drama. And if you want to watch my latest outfit video thing, that will be linked here. That one actually got a lot of positive feedback, so thank you for that. I'm really glad that you liked it. Other than that, I will see you on Monday with the next video. Bye!